A crowd gathers around Jesus, drawn by his teachings and authority. Some stand confidently, trusting in their own righteousness and moral standing. Others remain quiet, aware of their need for grace and mercy. Their expressions reveal a contrast between pride and humility. Jesus observes them carefully, seeing beyond outward appearances. He begins to speak, preparing to challenge their understanding. Two men walk toward the temple, each coming to pray. One is a Pharisee, dressed well and walking with confidence. The other is a tax collector, moving slowly and quietly. Their outward appearances reflect very different lives. One feels secure in his righteousness, while the other feels burdened by sin. Yet both enter the same place to seek God. The temple courtyard is filled with worshippers and quiet prayers. The Pharisee enters boldly, comfortable in the sacred environment. The tax collector follows behind, keeping his distance. One seeks visibility, while the other avoids attention. The atmosphere reveals their contrasting attitudes. Both now stand before God in the same holy place. The Pharisee stands in a prominent position where he can be seen. His posture is upright, confident, and composed. He appears certain of his righteousness before God. There is no hesitation or sense of unworthiness in him. Others notice his presence and outward devotion. He prepares himself to pray aloud. He begins his prayer by saying, "God, I thank thee." His voice is clear and filled with confidence. At first, his words sound respectful and proper. However, his focus quickly turns toward himself. His tone reveals pride hidden within his prayer. What begins as thanksgiving becomes self-exaltation. The Pharisee declares he is not like other sinful men. He lists sins such as injustice and immorality. He separates himself from those he considers unrighteous. He even points to the tax collector as an example. His prayer becomes a comparison rather than worship. He measures righteousness by looking down on others. He continues by describing his religious practices in detail. He fasts regularly and follows strict discipline. He also gives tithes of all that he possesses. These actions show commitment and outward obedience. However, he presents them as proof of his worth. His confidence rests in his works instead of God's mercy. The tax collector stands far away from the center. He does not try to move closer or be noticed. His posture reflects humility and deep awareness. He feels unworthy to stand near others. He does not compare himself with anyone. Instead, he stands quietly before God. He cannot lift his eyes toward heaven. His heart is heavy with guilt and conviction. His body language shows sorrow and sincerity. He strikes his chest as a sign of repentance. There is no pride or pretense in him. He stands honestly before God in his brokenness. He prays, "God be merciful to me a sinner." His words are few but deeply meaningful. He does not offer excuses or explanations. He fully acknowledges his sinful condition. His plea depends entirely on God's mercy. His prayer reveals true humility and repentance. Jesus declares the outcome of the two prayers. The tax collector, not the Pharisee, is justified. This statement surprises those listening. It challenges their understanding of righteousness. God looks beyond outward actions to the heart. Humility is accepted, while pride is rejected. Jesus concludes with a powerful and lasting truth. Those who exalt themselves will be humbled. Those who humble themselves will be exalted. The contrast between the two men becomes clear. The message calls for self-examination and reflection. True righteousness begins with humility before God.